What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 92, and we start today's episode off with some player training, and also we hire a youth scout in today's episode. Yes, thank you for all the comments since we took over at Roma. Many of you guys have been asking me when I'll start youth scouting with our new team, and the time is now. I wanted to wait until, why did I say it like that? The time is now. I wanted to wait until we're at the transfer window before I hired one, and as you can see, I hired this one here. It's an Italian scout, Simone Santoro, with 4-star experience and 5-star judgment. As I've mentioned before, the stars, for those that are unaware in the youth scouting, experience and judgment, they determine how many players the scout will bring back for you from a scouting mission, and the judgment indicates how accurate their reports will be on the players. So yeah, the better experience, the more players they'll bring back in the report, and the better judgment, the more accurate the reports will be. So yeah, 4-star experience, 5-star judgment. Of course, we sent him out to Italy for 9 months, and we shall see if we can get some good young Italian talents here into our Roma side. And who knows, maybe Mrs. Gallo, now we're local, will help us out a little bit with a few more of her children. But for those that didn't watch the Palermo Club and Countryside, you've got no idea what I'm talking about, do you? But following that as well, the Roma board came to us and said, nice work on hitting an objective. We just increased our club worth already. We were supposed to do it over 2 seasons. We've already done it before the halfway point of season 1, and of course we've reduced our player wage by 90 grand a week as well. So we've hit our 2 critical financial objectives, so really pleased with that. And for the first game of today's episode, what a big one, as we will travel to Andalusia in Spain, southern Spain, and take on Sevilla away in Seville here in a massive game on the back of 2 big wins for Roma for the first time this season, winning back-to-back in the league against Brescia, and in our last game, the 2-0 victory over Spal. So now taking on Sevilla away from home, massive game this in the 3rd game in the Champions League group stage. Right now, both teams separated by just a 1 point, and neither side could afford a loss in this game. So both teams getting chances early. First, Cristante firing that shot wide, and then Paul Lopez. What a stop there by our number 1. I must admit, Paul Lopez to start the season off has been absolutely brilliant. Some amazing saves. Another one there keeps it goalless, and in the 45th minute, after a wonderful run by Diaz, put Dubois on the floor. He found Orsolini, the man amongst the goals are late, but sadly his shot well saved by the goalkeeper as he was going for his 3rd straight, I believe. Good stop there, still 0-0 from the corner. Ivan Toney leaps like a salmon, but can't keep the header down. So it's still goals at the break in a very entertaining first half. You know, both teams knowing what to stake in this game, playing really good football as it was still goalless. And in the second half, game did die down a little bit. With 10 minutes to go, golden chance for us to win it. Cristante finds Marc Roca back in Spain, turns Juan Foyth, goes for goal, but drills it the wrong side of the post and in to the side netting. So still Sevilla 0, Roma 0. Final chance falling in stoppage time. Moise Keane finding space, but a great save by the goalkeeper. Saw him push the ball away as Jefferson Lerma clears it long, and that is how the game would finish. Final score, it's goalless in Spain. Sevilla 0, Roma 0, and a goalless draw, but a credible clean sheet away in the 3rd game of the Champions League group stage. And really my main goal going into the game was just don't lose it. Lose the game, we would have been 2 points behind Sevilla with 3 games to go, meaning destiny would be out of our own hands after we knew Chelsea would beat Lokomotiv Moscow and extend the gap on us to 2 points. But big bit, actually no, would it have been? Because if we beat Chelsea, well, it would either way, it would have been a bad position to be in half through the group, sat in 3rd place and 2 points behind Sevilla and also Chelsea as well. So yeah, it's not a bad point there. You know, perspective, it's not a bad point. We'll take the draw, especially away. And again, don't forget the next game is going to be at home to Sevilla, so win that one and that will be absolutely massive. That will mean with 2 games to go, all we'll have to do is beat Lokomotiv Moscow on match day 5 at home, and that will guarantee qualification. So a point and a draw is not a bad result. Still, for our second game of 3 in today's episode, going home as the Stadio Olimpico and back to Serie A duties as we will take on Sassuolo here. Of course, our last 2 Serie A games being those wins against Brescia and Spal, looking to make it 3 from 3 in the Serie A, and I was so pleased to see in minute 23 we had opened the scoring through this man, Moise Keane. Obviously we took the number 10 away from him as it was Francesco Totti's number, gave him number 7, and he hasn't scored a goal for us since the game against Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia, I believe. So it's been a few games without a goal for Moise. Nice to see him get one. Spent £64 million on him in the summer, and whilst he's playing as a left winger and inside forward in his team, we still wanted to bang the goals in regularly. Great strike there, 1-0 Roma, and good to see us take a very early lead here at the Stadio Olimpico. Olimpico. It's always nice to get an early goal in games like this. They can be a little bit tense when you're taking on a side you expect to win, taking on a side you expect to beat, and when it's going on for a while and it's still tied at 0-0, you can feel yourself tighten up a little bit, start to get more frustrated, but an early goal always settles a lot of nerves, and because of that, we were able to play our game, play some really good football, and to be honest, had not been some brilliant saves by the Sassuolo goalkeeper, we could have been 5 or 6 goals up at half time. We missed a hatful of chances in the first half. We'd had 6 shots and 4 on target and 56% possession, but only led by a goal heading into the break. So still up by 1. It should have been 2 or 3 in luck, really. And with 20 minutes to go, well, a worrying sign here. For the first time since taking over at Roma, we see an injury, and we haven't had a long-term injury for quite a while now. But as Sandro Tonali went up for a header, he's had a good start to the season, already a couple of assists for our new number 6, the former Watford and Brescia man, has stepped into the team and played really well for us in the defensive midfield position. Goes up for a header, he lands incredibly awkward on that right knee there, and as Tonali is forced off with the stretcher, you see him holding it there. I mean, everyone in the stadium was fearing the worst. I certainly was, especially after the injuries we've had throughout the course of the series so far. So Tonali stretched it off as it's still 1-0. Whilst we were playing better football and still only up by a goal, I wanted a second, and oh yeah, take a bow, Riccardo Orsolini. This man has been absolutely superb. I believe that's his 4th goal in 5 games for our number 11. Absolutely amazing. Couldn't score against Sevilla, but in this game, with 12 minutes to go, oh, that's the goal of the season so far from Orsolini. Takes a touch after Ollie Shaw lays it off to him, and oh, it sits up so nicely, bends it in with the left foot, in off the underside of the crossbar. That is an absolute beauty from Orsolini. His 4th goal in 5. He's been one of our best players to start the season off, and finally, after all those attempts, we get ourselves a second goal, we get the cushion, and ensure we will get the 3 points as well and return to winning ways. What a goal from Orsolini, absolutely glorious, and again, he this season has been absolutely amazing. So big 2-0 win there. 3 wins on the trot for Roma in the Serie A, but unfortunately bad news did come after the game as for Tonali's injury. As you see here, he's done his ACL. I believe it's our fourth ACL of the series and our first with Roma. It's a 7-month injury for Tonali, and of course I have been experimenting with the injury sliders all throughout the course of the series. I do believe right now we've got quite a realistic sort of amount of injuries that come in and the severity of injuries too, but the ACLs have been a problem for us all throughout the course of the series. And our first one with Roma, it is Tonali. Such a shame as well for the young 23-year-old. He's come in, already a couple of assists in the Serie A this season, looked really good when playing alongside Rolando Mandragora or Marc Roja, but unfortunately Tonali now done for 7 months. That'll keep him out until around, what, April time? Maybe March actually, April time anyway, so he'll miss most of the remainder of the season, Tonali, and that's a big blow, because whilst the central midfield area is coincidentally and thankfully for us the strongest area for us in terms of depth, we've got tons of players who can step in and do the job. Marc Roja, of course, being one of those players who lost his place to Mandragora since the season started. He can come back in an 86 overall. You know he's going to be okay. We've also got players like Cristante that can play there, and obviously players in the reserves. We've brought in a couple of players, and Šorić, of course, can play there too. But either way, it's still a big blow, because at 23 years old, finding his feet so early back in the Serie A, such a big blow to know he's going to be out for most of the remainder of the season. Still, for the 3rd and final game of today's episode, we will now take on Hellas Verona here away from home in Verona, looking to extend our win streak to 4 games in the Serie A and extend the unbeaten run as well, stretching back to match day 2 away against Bologna. Taking on Hellas here away from home, we had the first chance very early. Rolando Mandragora going on a nice little run here, but denied by King Don-jun as he turns a shot behind for a corner, as it's still goalless, and we really struggled in this game to create chances. The polar opposite from the Sassuolo game, where we had so many chances we just couldn't bury them. In this game, couldn't create anything. Orsolini was the man I was looking for after 4 goals in his last 5 games. He was really isolated out there though, just couldn't seem to get space and get him the ball, but he had one chance there, firing that shot just off target, as it was still goalless, and past the hour mark, we were still deadlocked at 0-0, so still tied in this game and on the verge of our first slip-up after 3 wins on the trot for Roma in the Serie A. Looking for someone out there to be the hero, get ourselves in front. Orsolini Cellini was the guy that had been amongst the goals of late, but for this time here, he turns provider, rolls it through to Ivan Toney, and whilst he didn't score in the last game against Sassuolo, he's back amongst the goals tonight with a really clinical finish, and this was all about the shot power as well. It wasn't the best of strikes from Ivan, but so much power. Give Cellini credit for ducking out the way of the shot. Would have broke his back, I think, but so much power, past the keeper in a flash. There's the breakthrough, and in a game where we really struggled to create chances, really struggled to create openings, finally we got one, and finally we took it. Toney with a goal, his 8th in the Serie A, and after being restricted to long-range shots in the first half, the one time we get a good opportunity, Toney was the man I wanted to fall to, because Toney was the man I knew we could rely on. 1-0 Roma, and after Paolo Lopez made a brilliant save late on in the game, he has been fantastic this season, hasn't he? We do hold on for the 3 points. 1-0 at the final score, and Ivan Toney ensures we grind out the victory and keep the pressure on the front runners, Inter Milan. That's what we need to do this season, no doubt about it, because we know that Inter Milan, Milan and Juventus are barely going to slip up ahead of us right now in the table, and that means that even when we're not playing well, we've got to ensure we find a way to win. It doesn't have to be pretty. We've got to make sure we keep getting the wins. That's the only way we're going to get ourselves back into this title race, because even so early on in the season, we're still several points behind Inter Milan, who, as we see here, are still absolutely perfect. 10 wins from 10, and we remain at 9 points behind the front runners. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode, featuring that massive game against Sevilla very soon.